Want to top off? Did you hear any of that story, Lucas?
Bits and pieces.
It's all right. It's not a table conversation. You're good.
Make sure you're pooping enough.
Okay, I for sure am. More than enough. Did you mention Edgar Rice Burroughs, Brandon?
No, we were on our last writer, Michael Chabon. He did Wonder Boys, Spider-Man 2, The Mystery of Pittsburgh, and 3 episodes of the short treks of Star Trek. And 30 episodes of Star Trek Pickard.
I'm fairly certain I've read a novel written by Michael Chabon. I think he's a Pulitzer Prize winner. I think he wrote The Adventures of Cavalier and Clay. Yeah. I think he's a fucking big dick writer, I think.
Okay. And then Edgar Rice Burroughs.
And then Edgar Rice Burroughs is a fucking big dick writer too.
And we'll get into him in the history. So, a plot or a cast.
That is, I have read a Michael Chabon book. I have it in my classroom, in fact.
Nice. Cast. I find it ironic that you're Kitsch, who is also lead in
Yeah.
Also Tim Riggins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
what are you saying?
What
What about Tim Riggins?
He played Tim Riggins.
I couldn't. Kitsch got Lynn.
I
Oh. Oh. Played the Green Goblin and the Tobey Maguire.
Oh.
Green.
No.
He voiced Tars Tarkin.
Oh, so
the Jeddaks of the Tharks.
Which is why I had like a somewhat of like a like I was like going towards him like let's go, and that was probably why. Yeah, probably why.
I love Willem Dafoe here. A movie winner.
For what? Oh, Florida Project.
Florida Project. You've also got Samantha Morton, Thomas Hayden Church, Mark Strong, Syrian Hines, Dominic West, and Bryan Cranston as Colonel Powell.
He was. They yelled it a lot.
How much did they pay for this movie?
What'd you say?
How much did they pay for this?
Oh, we'll get there.
Yeah, let's get into that.
Well, we got two more bits. We'll get there.
My bad.
I'm curious now.
Yes.
In a plot, John Carter, transported to Bar's room, a Civil War vet discovers a barren planet seemingly inhabited by 12-foot-tall barbarians. Finding himself prisoner of these creatures, he escapes only to encounter Woolas and a princess in desperate need of a savior.
Desperate need of a savior. Yeah, it's the classic John Carter story. Which it was probably like 100 years old when this fucking shit came out.
Yeah, I'll talk about that too. Very old tale. The Princess of Mars. The books. And then
I'm say the first.
History. For the first book
History's
ever.
coming. History's coming.
Dun, 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 dun. No, we don't want to talk about history here. If we go too far back, Jordan's not going to want to be here. Remember?
Yeah, we can't go too far back.
History of the film.
The history of the film.
And others. And context surrounding it, yeah.
We're still going really far back because we're going back to the 1930s.
Yeah, it's still a little rough, but it's all right. It's getting better.
It's better than the 1800s. John Carter's a 2012 American sci-fi action-adventure film based on the novel A Princess of Mars, the first book in the Barsoom series of novels by Edgar Rice Burroughs that chronicles the first interplanetary adventure of John Carter and his attempts to mediate civil unrest among the warrior kingdoms of Barsoom. Several attempts to adapt the Barsoom series had been made since the 1930s by various major studios and producers. Most of these efforts ultimately stalled in development. Hell, in the late 2000s, Walt Disney began a concerted effort to adapt Burroughs' works to films after an abandoned adventure in the 1980s. The project was driven by Stanton, who had pressed Disney to renew the screen rights from the Burroughs estate. Due to its box office performance, Disney canceled plans for sequels God of Mars and Warlord of Mars, which were already plans of the trilogy for Stanton. Much of the film's failure had been attributed to its promotion, which has been called one of the worst marketing campaigns in movie history.
Which I think we all can acknowledge starts with the title of the film, John Carter. You cannot call your 180 whatever it end up being movie John Carter. No one knows what the fuck that is. Not even what the famous like book is what it's not even called John Carter. Princess of Mars is a billion times better than John Carter.
John Carter can be a movie about anything.
It can be. It can be biblical. It can be like that's really what it sounds like.
It does actually.
Yeah, John.
Really
John Carter.
It sounds like. Yeah.
Or like a plumber, or like a fucking.
It could be about my brother.
Right? Yeah, it could be about.
Honestly, John Carter could be like a boxing come up story.
Ooh,
that'd be kind of.
I watched that.
It'd be there.
It could be about an English fool who gets into all sorts of follies.
Right,
John Carter. Yeah.
I have no money.
It's so an anonymous of a title, which really kills it.
It could be about two guys trying to start a band together.
Yeah,
and the guy joins.
The name is not very telling.
No, not at all. Yeah. And it doesn't stick in your head. Like you hear a title, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna remember this. No, it's just John Carter.
Yeah. And it's weird, like, if you think about it, like, not to be a spoiler, like the name compared to the first 25 minutes of the movie to the last does not blend at all. Does not.
No, it should be called Warlocks of fucking Lizardome or something.
I would watch Warlocks of Lizardome.
Or Hunting Cowboys. You talking about the first couple minutes? I was like, God dang! I was like, I didn't know. It's like an old western. I thought Clint Eastwood was about to pop his ass out of there.
And then Tim Riggins has to come in. Right?
Oh, that's great. So
John Carter.
Some terrible marketing, some history about a novel that goes way back and all the failed attempts. But it talked about being a failure. So let's talk money numbers. Jordan, it's budget time. Can you sing our budget song?
No, I think I had a little too much.
I got you.
Yeah, you've already had a couple shots.
The books, you better not budget. Let's play the game called Guess That Budget.
Oh, Guess That Budget!
The original one.
Yeah,
not the Redux.
OG. Yeah. Can you guess the crimes?
There may be some crimes of the money here because I think it's quite expensive. It looked expensive upon viewing.
What do you think it cost?
$180 million, I'm guessing.
Okay.
That's very, very specific. As a kid, I watched it and I loved it. And I think I loved it because of the graphics. As watching it now, doesn't seem the same, but 2012.
Yep.
Just 180 million. Okay, before I answer, how much would Avatar came out similarly around the same time, correct?
3 years before.
Avatar? Yeah.
How much did they spend?
Let me look. I can't tell you the exact number.
And then I think I can get a decent. Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you this. Avatar cost $237 million.
And you're saying 180, so that's still pretty expensive because Avatar is supposed to be really, really box office. You know what? I might even go lower. I might go 130 million.
130, 180. We've got a guess, so Seth doesn't get to win it all today.
Good.
The winner today is Lukas. $264 million.
Wow. That's a lot of money. That's more than I thought it was.
At its release, it was the second highest budget film of all time.
Incredible.
The only one higher was $283 million for one of those. I think it was Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End.
That was worth it.
Yeah.
Jeez. What?
200?
264.
Today's
I would never.
That's like $80 billion.
You're 80 trillion.
$8 trillion.
COVID really destroyed the inflation.
Jeez. That much money, huh?
But they must have made some of it back on opening weekend.
Yeah, how much do you think this made opening weekend, Jordan? It came out March 9th, 2012.
I don't think they made much. I would say 300 million.
No, just opening weekend, the first 3 days.
First 3 days? I'm saying 120.
I'll say pretty low, even lower, 30.
30?
Holy shit. One of you guys basically right.
I'm thinking 120, dog.
It's 30.2 million.
He Googled it. There's no way.
No, I just knew that's pretty in line for a poor opening against a big budget is about 30 million.
Oh, was it a poor opening?
I know that the John Carter kind of flopped financially.
See, I'm scarred because when I watched it as a kid, I was like, that shit's so cool.
Well, a $30 million opening weekend is actually a great opening weekend.
But not when it's like
with the budget,
the most expensive movie of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want the fucking Barbie opening weekend where it made $75 million or some shit. Or that.
So that's a swish for me.
When Super Mario Bros. Came out last year too, it made like 80 million opening weekend or some shit.
Damn.
Lucas, what do you think this made total in the US and Canada?
30 is gonna limp to 115.
Oh, see, he's copying me. I'm right there.
You sticking with one?
Nah. Globally.
This is just in the US and Canada.
Yeah, I'm probably not gonna move from my initial.
You say 120.
Yeah, that's probably it.
The winner today is Lucas.
What is it?
73.1 million.
Wow. What?
At the time, it was one of the largest box office losses of all time.
That's wild.
But China.
Yeah, now we're gonna guess worldwide.
All right, $5.
$5. Well, it's got to be more than 73.1.
That's crazy.
They get to count that. Yeah, I'll say this is like a China movie. $210 million.
Can I still stay with the 120? I'm gonna get an answer right.
You sure can.
God damn.
The winner today is Lucas.
All right, hey Lucas, next episode I'm gonna need you to lag out during the budget episode because I'm like 0-6 right
You just need Seth. You just need Seth to join because he's terrible at these.
Worldwide, it made $284.1 million. So technically, it ended up making $20 million in the world, but with marketing and worldwide,
it lost a shit ton of money.
It lost $100 million probably
or more.
But China loves this shit. This is
plus
China
they don't make as much from worldwide numbers.
No.
Why? You guys know?
I think that they like taxes and stuff, and that's all I can explain it with. I know they don't make it.
I was just curious because I was wondering why it would be any different.
They make marginal amounts compared to the domestic and local stuff, but I don't know why.
Oh, okay.
Distributing rights and
I think it's distributing rights mostly.
So
when you go out of the country, you're really just doing it just to get your name out there and kind of.
And you'll make some money, but
that's very marginal. That's the case. I guess John flopped, so that's fine.
It flopped.
Okay.
It made $20 million back, but on a budget like that, you've lost so much money.
Lost some jobs.
Pixar did not go under. Disney did not go under, and Stanton didn't lose his job.
It's not a Pixar movie.
No, that's what I was just talking about. Andrew Stanton.
Yeah, maybe we'll talk about this later, but this is like kind of a thing of all those Pixar guys is like they want to step out and like make like some real movies. Like not that Pixar movies aren't real movies, but they want to be like I want a fucking real deal, big tentpole moneymaker, Oscar winner action movie. Like Brad Bird had Tomorrowland. Try to do it with that, and similarly that flopped too. So
Brad Bird also had Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, which fucking rocked.
But then he burned all of his cachet on Tomorrowland.
Correct.
So he kind of whiffed on John Carter and had to get relegated back to making the cartoon movies, being like an Inside Out producer, shit like that.
And then he came back and he did Finding Dory, which was not not Finding Nemo level.
Brad Bird had to come back and do Incredibles too.
Yeah. A nice sequel, nominated for an Oscar, didn't win. Yeah. And then a tagline. Do you want to read our tagline in your best movie voice? Right there at the top.
Tagline. That's not the top, Brandon.
It is the top.
Lost in our world, found in another.
Ooh.
Pretty good.
It was kind of mumbly, but it's all right.
Pretty good. Lost in our world.
He he was losing the Civil War because he was a Confederate.
Yeah, he was a Confederate.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. But he was fighting for the South. Our hero.
He was. Yeah, yeah.
Do you think Edgar Rice Burroughs is a racist?
Well, I was gonna say we could talk about that too because he did write Tarzan, which is I contend to this day a colonial piece of literature.
Yes.
It's very much
as much as I love the animated film.
Well, you just like the Phil Collins soundtrack, but the book itself, and I've gotten in fights with Alex on this, but the book itself is very much like this white guy is coming around, making everything better, making everything civilized.
Yeah,
I think it's a colonial piece of literature. So maybe
fought her about that. You punched her.
I did punch her. That's your job. But then, so it lends credence to the idea that maybe Edgar Rice Burroughs had a shitty side.
Yeah, it lends credence Clearwater Revival.
It does.
It lends CCR. So
I'll look up his politics.
Taglines of our own. This is a decent one of Lost in Our World, Found in Another, but anything that we can think of that's more creative?
White man can jump.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. He's got some hops in this one.
Yeah, we need to draft him right now. What about like John Farter? This movie is crap.
Yeah, like John.
To be determined.
Yeah.
It's another love found.
Ooh, another love found.
He wrote 26 Tarzan books.
There's that many Tarzan books?
And they're all novels.
Wow.
He wrote 11 John Carter books.
That's crazy. That's so many installments in this series.
That's insane.
That's a shit ton. What about trying to think of a playoff of like Thark or Therns or Woolas. Woola girls, like hula girls. That doesn't work at all. Confederate.
How about a guy walks into a Mars?
I thought you were gonna say
like a bar.
I thought you guys were gonna say two guys walk into a bar soon.
That's not bad either.
Yeah, that's good. Or just a guy walks into a bar soon because it's only him.
A Civil War veteran walks into a bar soon.
Right.
I got.
Go ahead.
No, I'm trying to work.
I was gonna have some time references. I don't know.
You'll be
or some spatial references or something.
Another jump one, like you'll be jumping in and out of your seats for this movie or something, but something like you'll be watching this time and time again.
Here we go. We're vindicated. Burroughs strongly supported eugenics and scientific racism. He held that English nobles made up a particular heritable elite. Tarzan is meant to reflect this, with him being born to English nobles and then adopted by talking apes.
So he's very racist.
It's very racist.
Very racist.
He's been compared with Nazi eugenics. That's nice.
Yeah.
You want to earn that comparison.
I was like, I'm a sack.
I'm a sack.
He's a sack.
Tim
Riggins.
That's Jump. Yeah.
Jump.
Tim Riggins takes to the stars.
I thought you were gonna say like Tim rigging this movie up or something.
Pretty good. Tim Riggins is like one of my all-time favorite characters.
Look at all these talismen.
You don't know what that word
means. How many were there though?
Huh?
How many were there?
I mean, it's just like the little thing that they're carrying, but there's a lot of men in this movie. I don't know how many there are.
Brandon doesn't know that word famously too. He alleges.
It's a testament.
He alleged.
He said he didn't know what the word talisman meant.
But allegedly a sax man.
That was in September of 2022, and I did not know what talisman was at the time.
That's fucking horseshit.
I don't believe him. I agree with you.
No, he's a smart fellow. What should we go with?
As far as taglines?
Yes.
I don't even remember all the ones we said.
I don't know. We said
Jordan said a good one.
Well,
I don't remember.
Oh, it was Another Love Found.
That one was good, but that wasn't the one I was thinking.
I'm a Saxman.
No, not that one.
I don't know.
From the twisted mind of Edgar Rice Burroughs.
Get Twisted.
Get Twisted.
I don't know what the winner. White Man Can Jump. That's our winner.
White Man Can Jump.
Facts. We got to name our facts today because I got a lot of Cats facts.
Cats facts.
Yeah. John Factor. The Princess of Facts.
The Princess of Facts is good.
Edgar Fax Burroughs.
Racism facts. Racism facts.
We've done that before. Andrew Facton. Finding Facty.
Box office facts. Box office flax.
Like box office flops.
John
Factor.
What?
John Factor.
This episode is brought to you by Factor, the meal delivery service.
No, it's not. We can't say that.
No, it's not.
No, it's definitely not. We did not get the right to say
that. What is the TNT? EJ's Facts of the Night, sponsored by no one.
What?
The TNT. TNT with EJ. Ernie Johnson.
Brandon.
Do you remember he's like EJ's? Like, what is it? EJ? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, EJ's Facts of the Night or whatever. Or
sponsored by no one.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Let's do that. EJ's Facts of the Night.
EJ's Facts of the Night.
Ernie Johnson.
Brought to you by no one.
Sponsored by no one.
Brought to you by TNT. Hell yeah. Ernie Johnson here with my Facts of the Night. Who would
I'll
you
be Chris Webber.
No, you're not Chris Webber. You have to be
Kenny, Charles, Kenny, or
He guesses. He guesses. I'll be Draymond.
That's like the worst person ever.
Who are you gonna be?
I have to be my idol, Shaq. So I'm gonna be Shaq.
I'll be Charles.
The whole time. How many rings you got?
Right.
Big Diesel, baby.
G4. Ernie has 0 rings.
That's right. Shaq's better than Ernie. Confirmed.
Shaq gave Ernie 1 ring.
Just so he could be better than Chuck.
Just so he's better than Chuck.
So I have a lot of facts. Let's see. I think it was 10 or 11.
Oh, here we go. Are they about Mars?
No.
Mars fact. Some of them.
12?
One of them will be a nomination fact.
One of them will be a nomination.
Always.
So, 12 of them. First one, while filming in Bigwater, Utah, the crew accidentally discovered a 60-foot-long sauropod dinosaur skeleton. The state's land management bureau had to take over.
That's kind of cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
60 feet.
Yeah. It's a good skeleton.
It's a good size.
Fun.
It's okay.
Good fact.
Next, the rights to the novel have since been reverted back to the Edgar Rice Burroughs estate, which is still game to try to turn the books into a new successful movie franchise. So who knows? Somebody out there might.
They'll take a crack in 10 years. Yeah. All these studios want a tentpole sci-fi, especially now Dune's popping off.
Dune is my shit. I read all the books.
Love Dune.
But anyways.
Love Dune. Yeah.
No.
I love the books.
The books are good. The movies are okay, but we're working towards something.
Love the movies.
Okay. I like a little visualized representation. It's okay. You're never going to get everything you can get out of a book, but it's all right. It's all right. I'm not mad at it.
Next, Andrew Stanton has already confessed that he isn't too satisfied with how the movie turned out.
So, if Dune. Hey, if we do a Dune, I'm here.
Okay.
On Dune.
It'd probably be
on Dune.
It would be probably the David Lynch one.
I don't
Most
care what
likely.
it is. I've read all of them. I listened to all the audio books.
Have you seen the 84 movie?
Yes. So,
yes.
So we're going to revisit this.
Yeah, we can have him back on for the 84 one because that was
we'll revisit
equal
this.
Abomination.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
Andrew Stanton confessed that part of the problems came from a first-time live-action director being, in quotes, drunk with power after receiving too much money and creative control. Supposedly, he reshot the whole film a second time because in the animators world, you're like, oh, let's just redo it again and again. And then he's like, we reshot everything. We every line, every
and especially sequence. Yeah, and these like animators are all like fucking nerds coming out of computer school with their fucking nerd buddies. They don't, and then they've been making these like little awesome nerd movies their whole life with computers and stuff. And you get in front of a real camera, and he's just like, fuck, I don't really know what I'm doing. Yeah. At heart, he's still understand.
Next, this is stupid. For each of the super jumps that Taylor Kitsch performed, which is hundreds of them, he was attached to a harness that allowed him to free fall at a speed of 80 miles per hour. He apparently found it unpleasant.
I wonder.
So he did his own little stunts.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's some 007 shit. That's some Tom Cruise shit.
An 80 mile per hour free fall sounds very unpleasant.
I quite like Taylor Kitsch. I think he's one of my favorite underrated actors. I always like Taylor Kitsch. He's great.
I thought he was decent in this. I didn't love him or hate him.
You said he's one of your favorite underrated actors?
I think so. Yeah. I don't think people.
Three? You got three?
I probably got three. I probably got him. I don't know if Paul Dano's underrated. You gotta love Paul Dano.
Oh, I love Paul Dano.
Another underrated actor that I like.
A no-name guy named Brad Pitt.
No. He's bad.
He's bad.
One more.
I don't know.
Yeah. Don't Google underrated rappers.
Rebecca Hall. Rebecca Hall. I love Rebecca Hall.
Brooklyn Prince.
I can't even think of a Rebecca Hall movie.
What's Rebecca Hall? Christina Barcelona. She was in The Prestige.
Yes. Yeah. Brooklyn Prince.
Brooklyn Prince is great. She's a child actress.
Yeah, she's a youngin. She's probably 17 now. She's in Cocaine Bear.
She's not 17.
Cocaine Bear.
She's like 12 in Cocaine Bear.
No, she was older than that.
Cocaine Bear was like 3 years ago.
Yeah, Cocaine Bear was like last year.
Was it last year?
She was like last February.
She was like 12 like last year.
She was not 12. There's no way. Let me look.
Ford Project was 2017. Oh, she's incredible. She's a great actress.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Brooklyn Prince she's 14. So shit, she was 12 when they filmed it. You were so right. Damn it.
Yeah. I don't know why you call 12-year-old underrated. All right, go for it.
That was Brandon, by the way, but she is a good actress.
Yeah. The film probably holds the record for the longest time in developmental hell. It was trying to be produced for 79 years.
Mm-hmm.
Pre-production first started in 1931 when Roger Clampett, director of the Looney Tunes, approached Edgar Rice Burroughs to make an animated feature out of the first book in the series. Had plans gone through, John Carter would have become America's first animated feature, beating Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs in 1937. It finally left developmental hell in 2010 when the film started filming in London. So
it seems like it has a little bit of bridesmaid syndrome. It always comes in second place. This John Carter. Yeah. It's always about to get made, about to be the first, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a cursed legacy a little bit.
Is the highest paid probably during the year, right?
Second.
What was it? What was the first again?
Of all time.
Oh. Yeah. At that
time. Next, Edgar Rice Burroughs proposed a John Carter comic strip to the United Feature Syndicate in 1932, but the publisher turned it down. The following year, King Features Syndicate approached Burroughs about a John Carter strip to compete with the Buck Rogers strips, but they couldn't reach an agreement.
That's right.
Instead, King worked with Alex Raymond on a strip on a new character called Flash Gordon.
Or all famous ones. Who are the? Was that fame? Oh, sorry.
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying a comic strip for John Carter when I got when I got Bucky Rogers. I can't do it. I wouldn't put my money into that.
What was the Space Chimps line about Buck Rogers, Brandon?
There was one, and I can't remember it.
No Buck Rogers or something like that.
It was a play on bucking, but that's all I remember. More about this after the Flash Gordon stuff. After the success of both Buck Rogers and Flash Gordon, United Features finally agreed to do a comic strip in 1941, so 9 years later. It was written and drawn by Burroughs' son, John Coleman Burroughs, and it debuted December 7, 1941, the same day as the attack on Pearl Harbor.
Wow. I bet that's a great day to read the damn newspaper, right? Do you imagine a better day for people to be picking up a newspaper and reading your stuff?
Although I bet the news of Pearl Harbor was in the next days.
I mean, that's the second edition, man.
Yeah, I mean,
look at this new comic. Wow.
Imagine not finding out about a terror, like an attack like that for days. Like, you'd have to wait for the news.
They had radio too.
I guess that's true. Not everybody maybe had a radio. I don't know.
Everyone in the town had a radio, and then they had the kid who'd go, "Hey, everybody, you here?
gather round."
Yeah.
Your local barbershop probably has a little spot or something.
Yeah, the kids run out and tell everybody
about it somehow. Right.
Next, although being based on the first book of the series, A Princess of Mars, the film was originally titled to be John Carter of Mars, but Anderson removed the of Mars to make it more appealing to a broader audience, stating that the film is an origin story. It's about a guy becoming John Carter of Mars. So he planned to keep Mars in the title for future films, but this one he decided not to.
Which makes sense because how he put it at the end of it. At the end of it,
it was
John Carter,
the very end of
Mars.
Way
better. I don't know if it really made any difference. I would have watched it anyway because they're like monsters and shit. So
yeah.
I don't know.
But I mean, that's the part of the problem is I love monsters and shit, and I didn't know John Carter was a monster movie until like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I would have loved it. I thought it was a legal drama. Right? I'm not gonna watch John Carter. Yeah.
Look, there's a lot of legal banter going on. I'm not really interested right now.
Next, John Hamm and Josh Duhamel were both considered for the role of John Carter. Tom Cruise was originally going to do it in the 80s when it was.
That would have been fire.
He's good.
That would have been cool.
Especially in the 80s. It was like Top Gun and then that and Risky
Business. He could have done it in the 90s. Josh
that
Duhamel
would have been sick. Hey, I bet you they wouldn't have flopped. They would have not have flopped
if Tom Cruise.
If Tom Cruise.
You would have known. You would have told him to name it something else too.
Yep.
He would have
dove off
of blood.
He would have went to NASA himself and dove off the ship.
He's like, oh, I have to film on Mars.
Right. And he does all his own stunts, so it is what it is.
Next, voice actors of two of the third candidates for Chief have played lead villains in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man movies. So Willem Dafoe, who played Tarkus, played the Green Goblin, like I said, and Thomas Hayden Church played Tall Hadges, and he played the Sandman in Spider-Man 3 from 2007. So, a couple Spider-Man entries. This next fact is stupid. This movie is dedicated to the memory of Steve Jobs.
The Pixar guy, I guess. Is Stanton's buddy, maybe? I don't know. That is fucked up.
I don't know why, but
because he started Pixar, right? And I am pretty sure Stanton was like the first CEO or leader of Pixar.
Okay.
So they must have been tight.
They were homies.
I bet they were
just
tight.
A couple more.
I'll look it up. You keep Brandon. You keep going.
I hate this one too. In the arena, John Carter is chained to a rock, right? The top of the spike that is put into the rock is in the shape of the D in the Walt Disney logo.
I didn't even know that. I was just hoping he got the rock on the hook. But yeah, I never even thought about that.
I have problems with that. I know he's strong and can jump. How is he around a boulder like that?
Well, first of all, it's a fracture of a boulder.
I don't care. It was the size of him.
Once that big ass thing ripped it out of it, that little spear, the spike was attached to a small fraction of the boulder.
Yeah, but it was still the size of him.
But he was able to throw it because he has more dense bones, according
less
to me.
dense.
No, it was more.
No, because he can jump so high because they're less.
Was it less?
Yeah.
But then how is it more stronger though?
I don't know.
More dense
I could have sworn in the movie it said more density to his bones. That's why he was able to jump further, because if it's less dense,
the air was more dense.
No, because they were able to run around with less dense bones because they're not used to it. But the more dense could jump further.
No, because more dense would weigh you down though.
Not if you have more strength, you can jump further.
I can't jump. Bone density doesn't lead to strength.
I think neither of these. Maybe it does. I'm telling you.
Yeah. I think neither of these things are scientifically
accurate. I feel really strong about in the movie. He or she said that you have more dense bones when they're doing the body scan of him, and that's why he was able to. He has more physicality, more bone structure. Why he was able to do half the stuff he was able to do.
Maybe.
Okay. Maybe
we could.
That's what I'm thinking. I may be tripping, but I could have sworn that's what he said.
All this tells me that it was a movie written before they knew what the hell anything was in outer space.
Yeah.
What gravity was, right? Well, they're just like bones, maybe.
Your bone density doesn't change. It's just the dense, like.
That's what I mean. The book. This is based on a book written before women could vote, let alone before we knew what the surface of Mars and space was like.
True. My penultimate is that Robert Zemeckis turned down the role and a chance to direct this, quipping that George Lucas already pillaged all of that with the Star Wars films.
True.
In other words, most of the elements of Edgar Rice Burroughs' Mars fantasies had already been borrowed for George Lucas's space operas. Now, this was written before Star Wars.
Soon, yeah. And it's the one that they all stole from originally, which I don't think the book is that good apparently, but it's like all the ideas first of like the outsider in space. He's got superpowers. He can do the Force, whatever. He can
the space opera, yeah.
Yeah, and he's a savior. He's a messiah, right? He's going to be integrated into the society. They all stole.
And I mean, Robert Zemeckis is great.
Not at this time, my friend.
Not in 2012?
No. Because this is the Forrest Gump, the Back to the Future, the castaway guy. Yes, we love him. But at this time, he has gotten sucked into his fucking motion capture animation. Because this is after Polar Express. This is like the fucking Christmas Carol,
Larry Crown kind of shit, yeah.
Yes. Well, he's lost his mind at this point.
80s to like 2002 is Robert Zemeckis.
Best director of all time, maybe.
Yes. He's up there for sure. So.
And then afterwards, it's Tim Burton bad.
Do you like Tim Burton?
I actually don't mind Tim Burton.
You don't mind him, but you don't love him.
No, because I'm a little kid at heart, so I actually do like a lot of the Tim Burton movies he makes.
Interesting.
Okay. I don't really like I haven't really looked at a lot and I don't look at when I watch a movie, I watch it like does it look cool? Is it nice? And that's it for me. I'm not looking at I'm not check facting. I'm just it is what it is.
Okay.
Aesthetically it looks pleasing.
My last fact for you guys today, EJ, what was it? EJ
Fact of the Night.
Fact of the Night. Yeah. Brought to you by nobody.
Yeah, brought to you by
His nominations. It was the winner at the top box office films for music awards for Michael Giacchino. Nominee for best special effects.
Did not know that he did this. Love Michael Giacchino. He's the composer for Succession. He's incredible composer.
And for Ratatouille.
Which makes sense. And of course, yeah, this is a great soundtrack. I will give it that.
Nominated for best special effects at the Saturn Awards for Academy of Sci-Fi. Annie Awards, nominated for animated effects in a live motion picture. The Golden Trailer Awards, nominee for Ignition Creative, whatever the fuck that means. Nominee for best fantasy movie at IGN Summer Movie Awards. International Film Music, once again, winner for best score for a sci-fi fantasy film, nominee for best film composition of the year, and Sci-Fi and Fantasy Writers of America, nominee for Bradbury Award for Andrew Stanton and Michael Andrews and Mark Andrews.
Tight end for Ravens, yeah.
So
only thing I'll say is, unlike some of our other gigantic flops, this seems to have actually been praised somewhat. Nominated for positive awards. not Razzies.
Things like special effects, music. Yeah, no Razzies in here, even if it did flop. So that's going to end our EJ Facts of the Night brought to you by TNT/Nobody. Nicole Carter.
She can jump. She's chained up on Mars.
This is where we talk about Nicole Kidman.
We usually
you don't know Nicole Kidman?
Some for
the Australian actress, the one that's at the beginning of all the movies in the theaters.
The annoying one.
Which is like, movies are a place where you come.
Yeah.
No, he walks through a puddle.
I actually hate her because of the movies. I stopped seeing movie theaters because of that.
I went and saw Furiosa last weekend. It was 40 minutes of advertisements, and then
was it good though?
On top of it, amazing, incredible.
I'm watching it.
It makes you feel
this for a while.
Well, me too. It's my favorite film franchise, and it makes you feel guilty for liking Mad Max, and then you get like the best action scene of all time, and then your soul hurts, and then you get a great action scene.
I love it.
And then you cry.
How did Chris Hemsworth do?
He's so great. He's amazing. He's the best part of the movie, I'll say. Yeah.
All right, I gotta watch it.
The Memphis.
I'm happy that you give Hemsworth his praise, knowing that he's a big, he's Thor. Like everybody just knows him as Thor. So.
Well, I hate Thor.
I know you do. So it's good that you're giving him his praise.
So let's take Nicole and chain her up on Mars, and let her loose against that giant fucking monster in the Coliseum. I think is the natural path.
She's in a gladiator style ring against a great white ape.
Correct. Against the Rampage, how about from Rampage instead of this ape? A similar ape, I guess.
A similar ape.
Rampage would be much bigger, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. So she's chained up on Mars. She has to fight Godzilla and King Kong and Mothra and Rampage and a fucking giant centipede too.
Yeah, but she can jump really high or something.
But she can fucking jump, and she just keeps jumping.
She has bones, I guess. That's her thing. Her bones have holes in them.
And they all fall in love. No, they can't.
And she's gonna die. She's dead.
She does die. And the whole time, Jordan's in the crowd fucking roasting her, being like, "I hate your ads."
Yeah.
And that's what hurts the most, not being torn limb from limb by Rampage.
Whoa! Insult over injury, yeah.
So, that is going to bring us to a fucking movie.
Big movie.
HBO. This is actually Disney.
It's Disney. And it's like all red.
Yeah, a little red-orange Disney production.
Mm-hmm.
Hold up, I'm pouring wine.
Not elegantly as that.
Huh?
Pour it nice.
Does it start on Mars? Or does it start... Or Bars Room, excuse me. Or does it start on Earth? I don't remember. I think it's on Earth, right?
It starts on Barsoom.
Oh.
Yeah.
Tarkus, Willem Dafoe. He's a Thark. He narrates that humans have Mars all wrong. It's not airless or dead. Its real name is Barsoom. And Zodanga is what's a predator city. It's a moving city with like crab legs or something.
That's cool. Yeah, I like that.
It's something.
You love crab legs.
I do love crab legs.
I like the idea of a moving predatorial city. That's cool.
But do you I don't know if you guys caught it, but like when you're looking at it, you have a little like that kind of whatever it is. It reminded me of Wild Wild West with Will Smith. And have you ever seen like
I haven't seen it either.
Well.
Tell the listeners.
No, it literally so if you look at the little bug or the little machine that they use that goes into the ground. One, you have a couple resemblances. Two, I would compare it to if you watch Dune, you can see when they're trying to filter in the disperse the sound.
Okay.
So you're not attracting any worms. You would kind of have that similar machinery.
Okay.
But then in Wild Wild West is literally what it looked like with Will Smith in back in like 1990, whatever
98.
whatever it was. And they had the exact same machinery and it looked pretty much specific to like what you're seeing in John Carter. So I don't know why they think that it's so like futuristic or whatever it is, but it's like a machine they use across time, but they don't change anything to it.
Well, it is funny because like in Barsoom on Mars, it's a very primitive lifestyle that everybody lives, but they also just have flying solar planes
and can also travel between planets
and that
snap a finger.
So
but you're right. They also are like wear like bone necklaces and have like these like slow ass robots and stuff and spears and shit.
Yeah. So Zodanga is the predator city that's wiped out all of Barsoom except for Helium, which is a floating good city that fought back. The leader of Zodanga, his name is Sab Than, is caught in a sandstorm by the Helium and their flying machines as they're all start to kill each other. But then as Helium's about to kill him, everyone gets vaporized by these teleporting gods who ascend down to Sab Than.
They're bald. They look like who do they look like?
Monks.
Well, they look like
Stanley
a little bit.
Stanley Tucci.
They look like Stanley Tucci.
They look exactly. They're a bunch of Stanley Tucci's that.
Which I imagine God does look like. Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if Stanley Tucci is God.
You're right. Amongst us.
God. And a woman. Yeah. And they're called the Therns. They work as messengers for the goddess. I don't know her name, but they carry medallions that connect to the power of the ninth ray, a weapon that can only be harnessed by spiritual beings.
Yeah. And that's the setup.
Yeah, they give him a weapon like that so that nothing will stand in his way. You get the title drop and you cut to New York City, 1881.
That's it. And which is, I think, an insane way to start your movie, right?
Name's John Carter.
Yeah, and to just start off with like thorns and Thanos and fucking, and this is Helium versus the Gormbo and everything, right? It's like that Marvel shit. I think that people are sick of now, where it's just like all goofy. There's no reality at all. Thangos is fighting Mongoloid, and Rongo is fighting Tarango, and then they're flying around in Poinkos. Right, and then title drop. Here's what you're supposed to care about.
Yeah,
they should have started right here.
Here, John Carter, an 1881 Confederate man, is being followed. He sends an urgent top secret letter to his nephew Ned, and Ned is actually his real name's Edgar Burroughs. Oh, the writer of the novel. Holy shit! It's Mongo, the movie cat.
Hi, Mongo.
Mongo. I've got movies to
Mongo
for you.
Yeah.
We've got all Steven Soderbergh today.
Ooh, Mongo is Steven Soderbergh.
What do you think about Aaron Brockovich?
Aaron Brockovich, Mongo. 9.3. Mongo says.
Right. Oh, he loves Aaron Brockovich.
He loves Aaron Brockovich.
Ocean's 13, the third installment.
That one's pretty good.
Oh, he hates Ocean's 13.
I like Ocean's 13. Also.
Ocean's 13, Mongo. 8.7, he says.
Still loves the third one. And last one, what about Schizopolis?
Schizopolis, Mongo. Says 4.1. He didn't like that one.
He expected
the book. He liked the swing, but he didn't get it.
Okay. I'm glad.
And then clocked in the chin.
I'm glad we got Jinjo's thoughts on Soderbergh.
Mongo.
So, Mongo, yes. Edgar Burroughs, or Ned, the writer of the novel, he gets the news that his uncle, John Carter, is dead. Everything of John's is bestowed to him, including a journal that tells the story of John Carter's life.
Which is a cool, I believe this is the way the book is set up too, which is like cool, I think, where it's like, this is a true story. I'm Edgar Burroughs. Yes, my uncle. This is my uncle's story, my real life uncle, which is
I like cool. It. I do like this kind of meta twist.
Mm-hmm. Authors used to do that shit all the time.
It gives me 2013 Baz Luhrmann Great Gatsby vibes, where Tobey Maguire is in therapy. It's like not in the book at all, and he's like, "Where do I begin?"
I know, and
it starts on East Egg,
and despise that movie and that director.
What about the soundtrack?
I hate it. I love Beyonce and Jay-Z. I hate it in The Great Gatsby. I like the sounds in the songs individually.
Just not for Great Gatsby.
Correct.
Could they have like took some of the songs that you didn't like and like put them at different points in the movie to make you feel better?
No, I think it's because the movie's supposed to be about jazz.
Partially, yeah. Yeah.
The movie has a heavy jazz influence. Jay-Z was like, well, hip hop now is the huge
jazz. What do you mean?
Yes.
His name is like almost jazz.
It's there.
But they also didn't pick like very jazzy Jay-Z songs and Beyonce. They picked like slow ballads and stuff.
Yeah. Will you still love me when I'm no longer young?
I think The Great Gatsby might be the great American novel. I say that about a lot of the novels, but it might be. And
it very well might be.
They should have kept Baz Luhrmann away from it with an electrical fence.
Okay.
Battle props.
So,
fair enough.
With the telling of John Carter, we're in the Arizona Territory. 1868. John's a gold hunter, a Confederate gold hunter.
He's a racist, I guess.
He gets in a spat with the tavern bartender for supplies in exchange for gold when a sergeant, Colonel Powell and his soldiers come in and take him away. He's part of the Confederacy, but the U.S. soldiers want his help fighting and holding the border against the Apaches. But he is a fighter and a flea artist to Colonel Powell. He tries to find ways to get away from him all the time.
Cool. Yeah.
And so he's held in a cell when he just starts taking a piss.
I don't do
that. Actually, I had noted something on here. What did I say? It's funny. I said the creativeness to pee in an undesignated area to get out of jail was sensational.
Yes, that's thinking outside the box.
And that was amazing. Like I gave you a corner.
Cell.
I gave you something to take a piss and shit in, but you said you're not going to use it. You piss in a different corner, then it makes you want to come next to you.
Marking his territory.
And then just like a fullback in a 6A Texas high school, he's gone in an instant.
Right.
Yeah. What a weird reference.
He's Tim Riggins.
The guard comes, he slams his face in, he steals his keys, he escapes, right. And he's being chased on horseback through the Arizona countryside when him and the other soldiers end up riding right up onto Apache men on horseback. John tries to translate back and forth, but one of the Americans is trigger happy and shoots an Apache soldier, so it results in a big gunfight.
They get a big horse chase too.
Yeah, John's escaping. Colonel Powell got shot, so he brings him on horseback with him, and they end up getting cornered until the Apaches start to like back away timidly when a light starts to shine.
It's a Thongard or whatever.
A Thern. It's Matai Shang, one of the Therns.
Yeah, it's Matai Shang. You know him.
And so John, they back away timidly.
They look crazy.
They do look crazy. And John and Colonel Powell explore a cave that had like this spider-like symbol on it. Inside of it, it's full of gold. And as John tries to take the gold, I put the teleporting workers, one of the Therns pops up behind John with a magic knife with the power of the ninth ray.
They get a knife fight.
And tries to kill him. Not really, because John just immediately shoots him. He's like, "Oh, this god is dead."
Right. I'll take that.
Is that? Yeah.
So he grabs the magical Thern ninth ray sword, and when he does, the fucking Therns on the ground going, "Okay, Ashway,
Weke,
wine."
It is WEI. So does it do Weke?
And
he's like,
wine,
groomsman, no,
Barsoom.
Oh yeah. Whatever he said, because that's what would transport him eventually.
Yes.
Over there, because he said that word.
It's a saying, so it transports him to Barsoom.
Something, and then transform it to where you want to go. And they said groomsman.
He said Broomsman,
Yeah.
and he was touching that thing. So he gets transported to Barsoom.
Barsoom, there you go. He said
everyone
Barsoom.
Everyone else thinks he's dead.
Yes. He's a lifeless body in the middle of...
Right, because, yeah.
Well, you don't know that his body's still there, but he's on Mars, a.k.a. Barsoom, and right away he has trouble walking, and he does one of these jumps. My notes. I don't care if the gravity's less on Barsoom. Taylor Kitsch cannot jump that high.
No, yeah, it's like supposed to be like a kid tentpole Disney movie. This is kind of funny, right? He's like stumbling. Oh. Yeah, and then he has to have like some like
drunk.
It's a series.
Yeah. It's for the kids, the adults, and all. But he has to have like also his like force, his voice, whatever his power is. He can go hard.
Force jump.
Go hard in the air.
And John, he had that medallion that the Therns had transferred. He tosses the towels and runs off until he finds a little on top of like glass nest of eggs that are hatching. They're gross green little baby aliens inside, the hatchlings.
I hated these guys.
They are kind of cute, actually.
Not gonna lie.
Oh, you hated the Bants?
Oh, I did not. I wanted to squish them. Yeah.
What?
Oh, gushers.
They look like
You're gonna kill babies. That's okay with you?
The little dinosaurs.
Little turtles, little things. Yeah. Well, one of my larger complaints about the movie, which to be honest, I don't have a ton of complaints about John Carter, but it is the Therns design a little bit. I think you got to make them look more compelling or better, and not as goofy little green stick people as they looked like.
It was 2012, dog.
They could do this.
Avatar
shit.
came out though.
Yeah, I don't know. You have somebody whose name is the White Worm, and then you have somebody who's like, you have like a little green little caterpillar, basically. Is what they're trying to mimic when they're like babies.
Yeah, I think the adult Therns should have been a different design. They should have been. They should have looked like
the adult
like Gumby, Tharks, whatever the fuck. They look like little Gumby-ish.
They're Machamp from Pokemon with tusks.
Well, not those guys. They look fine.
Those are the Tharks. What are you
the long,
about?
skinny green guys.
Those are the Tharks. They're four-armed tusks.
They didn't look like Machamp.
Dude,
they're four-armed.
They look pretty cool for 2012.
They're 12-foot tall, muscular, four-armed men.
They weren't that muscular. I thought they looked
Some
stupid.
of them were.
They're pretty ripped.
Talmatar was.
I got more Gumby than Machamp, personally.
So they're a mixture between Gumby and Machamp.
Which is bad. Come on.
John Carter ends up getting surrounded by Tharks, the adult green aliens, but the Jeddak of the Tharks, Tarkus, played by Willem Dafoe, wants to approach peacefully. As they try and communicate jumping to each other, John jumps to Tars's weapon and tries to kill him, but Tars protects him as the other Tharks shoot him with a tranquilizer dart.
He recognizes his power or something.
Yeah, he wants to harness the power of the jumping. And my note here is, because they're like, we got to get going. They're like, but the 18 other baby Bants haven't like hatched fully yet. And they're like, they're not ready to kill them. So they just start shooting baby Bants.
Yeah, they could have just left them, I guess. That was fucked up.
They said they didn't want to leave him for the great white ape. So I was like, what is a great white ape?
I don't know.
They come up. Don't worry.
Well, because they call John a great white ape. So I don't know.
They thought he was.
Right. So something similar.
Like a baby of it or something?
Maybe.
I should give him baby food and shit.
Spoon feed you some green beans.
Right.
So a princess Deja of Helium.
A human. Looks like a human.
He said she was a human on the movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's like, you're my kind. And that's why he jumped up and left everybody to go fight for her. Because he thought that she was her.
He does think she's a human.
Yeah. She's like a human actress, not a green thing.
Yeah, she's not a green thing. She's trying to rehearse her lines to the people when her father, the king, and the soldiers barge in. Sab Than, who is the leader of Zodanga, who got the ninth rate weapon, bad. The bad guy, he's vaporizing everyone with his weapon, and they have no other choice but to give up helium. But Deja has invented her own ninth ray.
Are they ever gonna fill their balloons giving up helium?
She's invented her own ninth ray, which is what Sab Than is using as a weapon. So she wants to use it for good. But one of the soldiers that's working in helium is wearing the talisman that the Therns have. And it touched the ninth ray that she built and it fries it. I was like, whoa, I thought you were a good guy. He must be a mole of some kind for Sab Than.
A double agent, yes.
Yeah. And so her father's like, this is a great plan, but it's not going to work. We got to give it up. And he explains that Sab's terms are that he's actually going to spare all the people on helium forever if he can marry that hot ass Deja.
Mm.
She's like, no.
For her people, though, Brandon.
Yeah, but
you should do the deal.
But he has a tiny penis. She doesn't want that.
No.
I don't know how you figured that out, but I don't know how you found that out, but she wasn't going.
I watched the unrated cut.
The bonus scenes at the bottom.
I watched the director's cut.
Unrated scenes.
A lot of nudity in it.
When I was watching, I was taking notes. She never detailed that in the whatever she said.
Yeah, you watched the theatrical version.
My bad. That's my fault.
She's not gonna marry him.
Basically.
But this is where you learn that the Thern, not only can they teleport and have ninth ray power and work for the goddess, they can shapeshift as well. One of them that's working for Sab Than looks like this fucking badass knight with this helmet on and shit.
Like some Skyrim shit. Yeah, nice ability if you can get it.
Skyrim. You play Skyrim?
Mm-mm.
You're not.
I don't play Skyrim. I should.
You're a gamer.
I am.
I used to play a ton of it, and now I'm back into it, and I'm playing it.
Helldivers.
Oh, I've heard that's pretty good.
For the past 3 months.
I've heard Helldivers is cool.
The past 3 months, I've been having a good time.
That Mortal Kombat?
I have. Mortal Kombat is fun to beat up on your peers.
Are you going to get...
Party game.
Assassin's Creed?
No, I was going to say EA Sports NCAA 25.
I will, but I'm looking forward to Assassin's Creed Yasuke version. And I've watched plenty of anime with the Black Knight as an Assassin's Creed. It's actually pretty interesting.
Lucas says he's the best NCAA college football player.
Well, me and Lucas can play a couple games and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Me and my roommate at the time, Nathan, we didn't have girlfriends or lives or anything. So that's all. We only played NCAA 13 for a year straight, every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in college. It was so pathetic, but we got pretty good at it.
Hey, I feel like that's all I play is Madden. I love Madden.
You can get to a point where it's so computerized and so like
it is.
If the coverage does this one thing, it does the other thing, and it works every time.
But if you can figure it out, that's where you get a little bit
what
better.
The hell?
And you can clown everybody.
So, John gets back to the Tharks city, the very primitive city of Goombi Machamps, and he was strapped because he was tranquilized. I thought they were about to eat all the hatchlings right away, but they end up throwing them in like a dungeon with John.
Yeah, I got some like Black Widow vibes.
Yeah. Tars, who is the leader of the Tharks, there's another guy tall. He wants to battle him for the alpha role, but no one backs tall. And I said that these are 10-foot tall, jacked, four-arm Tusken.
On his motion. Yeah.
John's all being petty. They're like, jump for me. And he's like, no. And I was like, jump for him, dude. He's so
They're going to
fucking
squish
big.
you.
He says, sacks.
He's like, I will not jump for you. You guys keep calling me Virginia. My name is John Carter.
He said, sacks.
Sacks.
I do like how they keep calling him Virginia. But another kind of issue, and I do like Taylor Kitsch but he doesn't only plays Taylor Kitsch, really. He doesn't do he's supposed to be a Civil War captain on Mars, and he's still like, yeah, fuck you guys, like I know what I'm doing over here. He's just like such like a high school drunk football player. That's all I can see.
100%. Yeah, he doesn't seem like he's from the 1880s at all.
No, he seems like
one of my notes at one point is like, he's an 1881 Confederate soldier. He doesn't even know what a car is, but he's flying a solar-powered plane right now. Like, shit. What the fuck is this?
Different level.
Probably seen a steamboat.
Yeah, probably. So, they're trying to get him to jump and everything. He sees the talisman on Tars, and he jumps to him, but he's chained up. He can't get it in time. And so they throw him in the holding cell with all the Banth hatchlings, and they just start feeding him a liquid. Apparently it gets you so high that you can understand the Thark Barsoom language.
Does it get you high?
Is it?
He started like
a learning liquid.
Right.
A learning liquid? What the hell?
I don't know. What it was. Just like she knew what she was doing. That's why she got in trouble for it.
Oh, because it was Sola.
Yeah, I don't think they're just like
for feeding him whatever the fuck she's giving him, because he knows that's
right.
His learning liquid.
She's upset.
Yeah, it's like the learning machine from Battlefield Earth, except liquid.
Exactly the same.
Now he can do Euclidean geometry.
Easy. Yeah.
So,
John,
chained up to the wall, wakes to find a Woola coming at him. This is the lizard dog. Fast as hell. This thing's so fast.
That's my homie.
It's your homie?
Cool. I fuck with it.
It's so fucking fast. It wakes, it's right there, but it's very peaceful, slimy lizard dog thing. He tries to escape, but the Woola will not leave him alone after he breaks off the wall. And so John ends up stumbling up a building right up to a Thark gathering. But the Woola interrupts the party to alert them of John. He starts barking. So they all just start beating up this dog. You hear it like whimpering and shit.
Well, yeah, which I guess our Western interpretation is they're beating up a pet dog, but like, what is it in the Barsoom culture, Brandon? Are they hunting?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
A
dog is a dog.
Jordan has developed a personal connection with the Woolas. Yes,
I know a dog when I see it.
That's my ghost man. That's my little dog. That's my little homie.
Well, and John sees it and he realizes it's a dog. He interjects like, "Don't do that." And so all the Tharks start coming at him. They're like, "How the hell did you break out?" One of them runs towards him. John punches him once. The Thark goes flying. It's dead.
On these you can move one.
His muscles.
Tars was like, "Holy shit,
punch.
One Punch Man
killed my guy."
Yeah. And then I do have to get going here too, as well. Unfortunately,
because you've got guests over.
Alex's dad is here, and he's going to sleep now.
He's going to sleep now.
Should I tell you my rating right now?
Where does Paul sleep when he's here?
Just on in the living room, yeah. But then he kicks Alex into here. It's sleep time.
Okay.
They're going through sleep. You're right.
Give us our rating and please text me your thoughts on ratings.
The Thars and the Goombas and the Lamonces and the Fungos aside, I really kind of like John Carter.
What?
It's got its flaws, I think, but I don't think it's a bad sci-fi movie. I think it's a good sci-fi movie. I think
better than Battlefield.
Battlefield Earth.
Battleship.
I think yes on both accounts. I'm gonna give John Carter a 7.2. Nothing crazy, but I think I like John Carter. I think it's much derided, and I will text you my guess. 7.2.
Okay. Appreciate your time.
I'll ride for Mr. Stanton. Thanks, guys. Finish strong.
Bye, Lucas.
See ya, man.
See ya.